What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Welcome to Hunt the Week.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into the show. Welcome on in, each and every one of you outlaws out there, you rogues, you mercenaries, you warlocks. I don't remember what the other ones are. I don't. Maybe you're just a varmint. Or maybe you're a squirrel. We got a couple squirrels out there, I'm sure. Yeah, whoever you are, outlaw, sheriff. I was almost sheriff. I still think maybe I should have been deputy. But we don't need to get into that. Everybody come on in, have a seat. Gather around the old mill. Come to the saloon, and we're going to have us a Week 5 recap here of Outlaws of Thunder Junction League. I am your host with the most, your Don John DeMarco, your Goku or Go Home. I am a 4-time top 8er, a 2-time league winner, and 1 time I came home to do the podcast and my house had no power, and I am recording in the dark. Yes, good thing I have a laptop and a microphone that plugs into it. I don't know how it's going to upload. Hopefully power kicks back on at some point where the podcast is going to be a little late. Sorry about that, but I don't have power. I came home. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. This is Outlaws of Thunder Junction League. This is Week 5 of the Arena Gauntlet Sealed League that we know, love, and playing. We are getting near the end of this thing, and I'm not in it anymore. We're going to get to it. In fact, let's go ahead and get to it as we saddle up.
We usually don't pick up hitchhikers, but I'm going to go with my instinct on this one. Saddle up, partner.
That's right. As I record, and again, this is a little harder because I have to look up the standings on my phone while I record. I don't have power, don't have internet. It's a whole thing right now, but we're powered through it. The show must go on. This is our Outlaws of Thunder Junction Top 8, number 1, Thomas C. Jamboree. What a league he's having. First time here, 19-6. Congrats, Thomas. Number 2, Ryan D. The Slickness, my arch enemy and outlaw among outlaws, 17-8. Chris O 91. I think I lost to him this week, 17-8. Chris D. Stereo Lab. The story of 2 Chris's right now. Chris O and Chris D. Also 17-8. Evan C. Peas of Crab. Way to go, Evan. Having a great league. 17-8. Justin P. Code Pigeon. 17-8. Ryan M. Rern 22. 17-8. And Richard K. Preacher. 16-8. So, here's the thing. Very tight for everybody that's left, right? Okay, so right now, I mean, let's say, is 13-9 kind of still in it? Raph? Yeah, Raph's still in it, sure. He's 0-2, but he's in it. I mean, anybody that's still alive is still in it. But 19-6 is Thomas, who's out there 2 games up on everybody. Not locked. I think 20 is a pretty good lock, but maybe it's not. I mean, so you have 1 person at 19-6. Then you have 6 people at 17-8, all with varying OMWs for tiebreakers. Then you've got 5 people on 16, 5 people on 15. Still some matches to be played, but it's like, yeah, down all the way to 17th is only 4 games back from first place. So, I mean, they're actually only 2 games out from second place, right? Because first place is 2 games up. So it's anybody's game. It's going to be a very interesting week 6. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I hope some of these underdogs come back and fight through. But again, the people in the top 8, I mean, you've heard a lot of these names before. Or maybe you haven't. Maybe this is like the most new players in the top 8 in a long time. Because I know Richard, I know Justin, I know they're friends. They must be super happy they're both in top 8. Congrats, guys. Evan has been there before, and Ryan D. But Thomas, this is first league. I think this is Chris O's first league. Chris D, I think, has been here. I can't check this stuff right now. I don't have power. So don't be too mad about my wrong facts this week. And Ryan M. Rern, not a new player, but hasn't top 16 before, hasn't top 8'd. I assume the Chris's are in a similar situation, but again, I could be wrong. But yeah, 4 players that I don't think have mega drafted before could be in the mega draft. And there's a lot of names, familiar names that you know and recognize. If you just go a little bit further down, you got Daniel G, you got Thane, Way, Wesley, Duncan M, Zeke, you got Miranda, Adam, Jeremy, Raph still alive down there. I mean, here's the thing. You keep going down, it goes down for a while. So that's what's going on in Thunder Junction. It's a close one. First place, 2 games out, and it's week 6. It's a little different. You got to play your games early. You gotta win. Well, first and foremost, you got to win. And week 6 is tough because there's not a lot of games to go around. Sometimes you got to wait to find games. Games will dry up and be basically gone by Wednesday. Don't wait to play. We got to get someone to post the week 6 primer. We got so many new players here. Let's see. What else? You don't have to play anybody that you don't want to. OMW is very important. It's going to raise for everybody this week. And it's also just hard, right? This is the hardest part of the tournament. Everybody that's left is a good player who's playing well. Like, no one got to week 6 based solely off luck and, like, good draws, right? Like, everybody that's left has built a really good deck. It's full of strong cards, and they're playing it well, and they've been playing it for over a month at this point, right? So, like, they know the deck. And you know your deck if you're still in it. It's exciting, right? It's an exciting time. There's a lot going on. Because I posted early last week, I missed the announcement of Zombie League by hours. But yeah, there's a Zombie League now, which if you listen to just the shows last week and then this week, oh, you missed the sign up, so sorry. But it's going and it's interesting. It's Outlaws of Thunder Junction League. It's 2 weeks long. But they've changed the packs, so they have no rares and no mythics. You can only open packs with uncommons and commons. Bring down the power level that so many people were complaining about in OTJ and the starting pools that were just so busted and broken. That, like, oh, does this fix that, right? Does this make this better? And the turnout has been huge. There have been so many people. 50, 60 players in this 2-day or 2-week tournament? Everybody kind of jumped in on this thing. All the new players that maybe were disappointed they were out and didn't have anything else to do. All the old school players that are still in the tournament, they're playing in it too. It's a whole nother extra bonus free tournament, 2 weeks long. Get a player of the year invite, get a really rare side quest champion badge, the rare one, the harder one to get. And it's just normal rules. Play OTJ 5 games a week. I'm 0-4. Okay, and here's the thing. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I just apparently I need my rares. I've had one really interesting, fun game. Other than that, you just get behind and you can't come back. Like you can't catch up. You don't have a board wipe. You don't have amazing removal. You don't have big bombs. You don't have crazy value. It's easy to fall behind, and then it's just you can't come back. Again, I'm not super into it. I don't think I'm going to play any more games. But I am happy that it's there, and I am happy that so many people are loving it and are playing. I hope that we start doing zombie leagues every league, because look at how many people signed up so quickly. There wasn't much of an announcement about it. A ton of people loved the idea of they're all playing. So even if I don't really super love the packs, I still love the idea. Like, maybe it's just my bad luck. And maybe if I was 5-0, I'd be going, yeah, these packs are great. They just got to get rid of these rares and mythics. So I always like to put my biases out there. But yeah, I'm just not really super enjoying the games. But I'm enjoying the league. I'm enjoying the idea. I'm enjoying the concept of it. They got roto drafts signed up right now. Sign up and do roto drafts. I signed up for that. Zach Carr has been doing weekly cubes, taking this week off, but keep your eye out for Zach's cubes. They've been really good. We got Modern Horizons 3 League announced. There's a lot of information in this very quick segment, huh? Modern Horizons 3 League has been announced with some very cool rules. It's very simple. It's just Modern Horizons 3. That's it. Yeah, you lose it, you lose. You open a Modern Horizons 3 pack, 6 weeks long, Vanilla League. You don't get to open any other packs. There's no factions. There's no families. There's no teams. There are no friends, no outlaws, no Alquist, no clues, no gimmick. For 6 weeks. Can the server exist without a gimmick for 6 weeks? We've been so gimmick heavy. We'll see. People are either going to love it. It's going to be a modern set. These are always really great to draft. They're super fun. Or people are going to hate it. It's going to be super powerful. It's going to have stupid strong cards. It's I don't know. I hope it's a good time. Here's let's go back, right? So I went 3-2 this week in Outlaws of Thunder Junction League. I got eliminated. I had to go 4-1 or better to make it to week 6, which I again wasn't expecting. I never expect to go 4-1. You crazy? But I went 3-2, which means I got to play all 5 of my games, which I think is super important for my Player of the Year at the end of the year. My chances for that. But I did pretty good. I did my brawl match with Johnny. That was really fun. I got to play a brawl game. It was a great time. Caused a lot of drama between him and Richard. Sorry about all that. I didn't know. I almost brought up that I don't know. It doesn't matter. But it was still a great game and it was a lot of fun. I really liked that duel. I didn't like the other duel, but that's because it was just me getting killed right away. But I enjoy the stips. This is my feedback for Outlaws of Thunder Junction League. That's kind of the point here. I got knocked out. And here we go. I mean, at the beginning, I was pretty down on it, right? Like, I may not have said it too much on the show. I was trying to be positive, but I went 1-4 week 1. And I was like, these packs. I didn't like OTJ for like the first 2-3 weeks it was out. I thought it was just too strong, and you just kind of lose. But over time, as I played it more and as I adjusted, these are my thoughts and feelings of the league and the mechanics. I really liked Outlaws of Thunder Junction League. I think that everything kind of worked out. Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't have too many, if at all, negative things to say about it. Yeah, there were some busted, broken, started pools, but I feel like I came back. I mean, I started 1-4. I finished 14-11, which was a nice little turnaround. So I don't know. I do feel like I was able to use the catch-up mechanics in the store. I will say I did spend a good amount of time trying to figure out what to do with the store and like when to buy packs and going OTJ, cheap OTJ, and I definitely got lucky and hit some very strong rares in my off OTJ packs. So maybe that's skewing everything a little bit, because my first non-OTJ pack, Theros Beyond Death, I don't think I played a single card out of that pack the entire league. But my warp, I hit Nissa Shakes the World out of the war pack, which is a stupid broken Planeswalker. I had a Steel Seraph out of my Bro pack, which is just like a nice little artifact that can gain you some life and fly and do stuff. So like, and there was a kill spell in there, I think. But then I opened a Strixhaven pack at the end, and I opened a Flunk, and like I opened one of the Deans that was like fine and playable, and some fixing. Like, I don't know. In the end, I think this OTJ versus non-OTJ packs actually worked out really well. I really liked the store a lot. I think the store worked great. I do think that the store can be manipulated and taken advantage of by, I played the first game of the league. I got to buy one of the cheapest packs that no one else got that opportunity to buy packs that cheap. And now that, a lot of people are knocked out, or people are only buying expensive packs as they get knocked out, the store has been like super wonky since, the end of week 4. Basically, like, no, the cheap packs are getting cheaper because everyone's going out and buying the expensive packs, and then everyone left kind of has their choice of like cheap packs that like were never that cheap and never should have been as cheap as they are now, I think. But other than that, I think it worked great. I love chaos. That's the thing. This kind of felt to me like OTJ plus a little chaos, which is what I liked about LCI. Oh my God, the power just went back on. Mr. Hammond, the phones are working. Jurassic Park. Okay. Man, that distracted me and I'm all thrown off. The store, I think, worked great. I like the money. But the thing about the money is the money affects the other stuff, right? There's this weird push and pull of, I'm trying to budget what I have and try to figure out what my strategy is based on how much money I'm going to have. But then you have duels where you can earn extra money at a cost, and betting where same thing. You can try to earn some extra money at a cost. And it was like, I budgeted so much in the first few weeks, I didn't do betting, and I didn't really do the duels. The bounties were cool, but I got 3. I still think I should be deputy. Sheriff has 3 bounties. I got 3 bounties. Not mad about it. Not mad about it, guys. Just want my name in a fun spot on the side. But I mean, the bounties were just like an extra bonus. You couldn't do them on purpose. The duels I thought were. Here's the thing. I didn't really love the duels that much. I would have loved them if everyone would have had to do them like Plains Chase League. Like when everyone has to have these fun building restrictions, it evens the playing field. doing it because you want to, I get it. That's also kind of leveling the playing field. But some people might be doing it because they've got a strong advantage, and some people might just be doing it for fun. And I don't know. I didn't love the duels, although I got to play Brawl again. Like every time Brawl comes up and I get to play it. Actually, last time I hated Brawl, but this time I had a good time. So I don't know. I like doing things a little different every now and then, and that's, like I said, I like the weird leagues, and when the weird leagues do weird things, I like it. But I just didn't like a lot of the stiffs we had, starting at 10 life, and we didn't have like the Gigantha stiff where everything's 3 or more, or, only evens, only odds. I don't know. A lot of these stiffs I just wasn't into. But they were fine. And then betting, again, it was fine. It was the weird push-pull of, I don't want to lose money, so I don't really want to bet because I need everything I got. I think in both weeks I bet I lost like $50 total because I like won one bet that was like a big underdog and then lost the other two. So I didn't lose a ton there, but I mean it was fun. I got to bet on myself and win. That makes me feel good. That was fun. But I don't know. It's the weird push pull of like having money you want to spend versus. Do you want to put it on the line? I don't know. It's tough. I think it's a little tough. But I liked OTJ. I actually ended up liking OTJ League quite a bit. I'll probably give it a 6.5 out of 10. 6.57 out of 10. It was a good one. It was a really good one. And I will say I came in thinking we weren't going to get there, but we did. So hats off to everybody who was involved. I had a lot of fun. I'm going to really miss seeing all the cowboy hats on all the profile pictures. When they go away. But we've been talking too long about this. Let's get to the rest of the show. It's time to see if this town is big enough for the both of us.
Listen, stranger. This town ain't big enough for the two of us. It ain't.
That's right. This week I had on Ryan M. Rern. If you listened to the show last week, I said, wow, Ryan's good. I want to get him on. Well, you know what? I did. And he's good. And he's only doing better. And super happy to have him on. He was a great guy to talk to. Loves talking Magic. I learned a lot. Ryan's one of those people that I don't interact with much. I haven't had a ton of interaction with him, so I really didn't know much, and was super blown away and surprised and loved talking to him. So let's go ahead and listen to my interview with Ryan right now. All right, everyone, let's figure out if this town is big enough for the both of us with me and none other than Ryan M. Rern. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, so happy to have you on. I got to ask, is it Rern? Well, what's up with Rern? I got to know a little bit about this.
Oh man, it's it's one of those screen names that is, it was a stupid thing back in middle school or something, and it's just never never left. So, but yeah, you're getting it right. It's Rern, not Earn, and
nice.
I don't even know. I remember my friend in high school. I don't even know where he got it, but he just started calling me that, and I put it as a name at some point and just kept it forever.
I love it. I'm so happy to get it right because listeners will know I usually get them wrong. It took me forever to figure out Bionic's name is actually Bionic and not Bionic. One of many mistakes I've made. Ryan,
well, you got this one.
Hey, we'll take it. Ryan, I would love to know. I'm a fan. I've been a fan. You may listen to the show. I think I said last week, Ryan. Oh, Ryan's great. I got to get Ryan on, and Ryan is on. I want to know, when did you start playing Magic?
I started probably like a lot of folks a long time ago. It was like my buddy and I, like his older brother had cards, and we're like, oh, what is this thing? I can vividly remember sitting in his living room on the floor and seeing like an Uncle Estevan and stuff from. So as far as how long it's been, I'd say probably since like 1995 or so.
Nice.
The first like box or whatever that my parents got me when I was little was like Ice Age. So it's cool seeing like all these old cards and kind of like going down memory lane and getting all nostalgic. So I'd say probably since then, but like many people, it's been very on and off.
Yeah.
I think I got really into it, and I would like save up money to buy a pack of cards. At the end of the week, my dad would take some friends and I up to like the local like hobby shop, and
yeah,
and eventually we even like, would play in some of the like events and stuff they had there, but we had no idea what we were doing. I always joke that I can like whenever we're playing like, Vintage Cube or anything like that, I can be like, oh man, I can remember having that card. And it was like any valuable card I ever owned, I'm sure I got like ripped off for like,
Oh yeah.
the cool like Crawl Worm and Scaled Worm, all these like 8 mana 7/6s and just cards that seemed like super sweet when you were younger.
Yeah, who wants
So
these lands that tap for 2 colors? They don't attack.
yeah, this land hurts me when I have to go get a. Why would I want that?
yeah, that's bad. I'll just put in what more blue lands or whatever, and it'll be fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I can definitely remember that. So yeah, kind of on and off. I remember like kind of getting into it in middle school and then getting back out of it, and then at some point again in high school. Um, funnily enough, I think I dodged all of the really valuable sets. It was like I like stopped playing during like Urza's block, and then got really into it again during like Prophecy. So I was like playing all these like terrible cards. I actually went home over winter break this year, back home, and started digging stuff out of the basement
Yeah,
just to see like what I had, and I found like 8 Ristic studies, which are now
nice.
like pretty valuable because of Commander. But it was like,
Yeah,
I played at the wrong times. I was like into it in Prophecy, and then took a break. So yeah, so kind of on and off, and then eventually like found some people when I was in college. I kind of found some people on the Ultimate Frisbee team that like, oh, you actually played this, and I thought I was just kind of like the only one secretly playing and drafting,
yes.
and so we got a box of like Ravnica or something, and yeah, so but I just it's been very on and off. I'd say like primarily my mode of playing has always been drafting. Like as soon as like I found that on Magic Online, I've just been like, draft junkie.
Yeah.
and so that's kind of been my main form. And I stopped playing at some point, like ironically enough, it was like during the pandemic. um I got like I've been playing like Ultimate for like probably like 20 years or something, like year
Yeah.
round. And so like when that all shut down, I got really into disc golf. I know one of your guests recently was talking about
Oh,
that.
I'm going to talk to you about it as soon as you're done because this discing thing it's a big thing. We got to talk about it. But yeah, go
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so like you'd think the pandemic would be the perfect time to like just play more online, but I just when I get into something, I just like drop everything else and like pour myself into it. So I got obsessed with disc golf, and like that's all I would do. and
Oh,
and eventually like finally came back. So that was like right when Arena came out, and I just didn't. It never like my laptop at the time could barely even handle Magic Online. It would crash all the time. So that was another reason I was just like kind of over it. And like Arena, when that first came out, I was like, so when you draft, it's only bots. Like I just didn't. That just
yeah.
didn't make sense. I was like,
It was
this
not
this
good.
is yeah. It's like that's the whole point I love is like pod drafting and having it be different every time. And so I just kind of like got out of it, but eventually came back. And I want to say like Midnight Hunt. I like finally got Arena on a decent laptop and just like poured myself in. It was like, oh, like the draft economy, like I can just like draft forever, and it's
Hmm.
like yeah, it's like way easier to do that. And then I found the Arena opens, and so like since then I haven't stopped. Like I've basically just like been playing and finding new avenues and stuff. So yeah.
I love it. And then you find the server. We welcome you. You're a fantastic player. Like I said, I always see your name. I always see you doing well, and you're doing well again in OTJ. Yeah. So the Discers are they're a group of guys from California that know each other that play on or played. Some did, some didn't. They've been doing it for years, but they played on like a national ultimate frisbee team. Like winning nationals, I think, going to
Was
worlds.
it was it club or college? Was it
It's I don't think it's college. I think it's just something they do. I don't know off the top of my head the names of anything. You may know the names of the stuff or follow them. We'll have to. There's Jordan, Sawyer, and Daniel. But
okay?
they're also like the best players in the server. And so like they're known as the Discers. Um,
I saw that recently. I was like, what
mhm.
the heck are the disc?
They're the
Okay,
Discers because they're a group of friends who like know each other through frisbee, but then are all three of them are great at
crushers.
Magic. Yeah, like
Yeah.
they're best of the best. And then when you're like, hey, I do great. Oh yeah, I also play ultimate frisbee. It's like, oh, is that the secret?
The secret connection.
I've played some disc golf. I like disc golf. I have never played ultimate. Maybe that's what's stopping me from getting to the next level, Ryan. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. That's good to know. I'm gonna have to ask those guys about their
Oh yes,
ultimate. Maybe I don't know when they played, or maybe we cross paths or something. That'd be cool. But
I think some of them still play, and I think, or like within, I don't know. Talk to them. I don't know. I can't speak for other people.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll have to ask them.
um, yeah, you should. They're also great guys. Daniel is also having a great league. He's I'm so impressed by Daniel because he recently had a newborn baby, but he's also about he's on pace to make his fourth or fifth mega draft in a row, and he won the last one and
He's always up there.
one
Yeah.
before that. Like he's doing it with a newborn child, and he's doing it consistently. It's like that dude's just the disc skiing is working for him. Ryan,
That's awesome.
I would love to know a little bit about Outlaws at Thunder Junction League, how you are doing, how you are enjoying it. How is it going?
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been great. I was pretty lucky to open a good starting pool. I think that obviously like helps a bit. I've only done this is aside from the team 3 week league, I've done Cons was my first league and then MKM. So this is my third sealed. And yeah, I'd say this one was like it was a pretty ideal starting pool. I think I started with Bristly Bill and Pest Infestation, um, and then a bunch of like other kind of junky rares, but that didn't really matter. um, and pretty good like uncommons too. But yeah, it started off like pretty uh, pretty average. Like I think I went like 3-2, 2-3 the first 2 weeks. So I was like 10. I was 5-5
Yeah.
the first 2 weeks, and then the next 2 weeks I went 9-1 to like kind of put myself where I am now. So I don't know. I
Nice.
just kind of like hit a good streak, and there was a good punishment pack early on where I got in on the streets of New Capenna before word was out. It's
Yeah.
like now it's like over 1,000. Like I think I got it for like 600 or something like that. But I got like two duels and like a inspiring overseer and
Oh,
like
nice.
yeah. Um, so that definitely helped. Yeah, it's been really fun. It's like my current conundrum is like what deck to play
Hmm.
because like I've been bouncing back and forth between like this blue green a little bit more like irresponsible mana base like splashing around deck where I feel like the card quality is like like all the creatures are like all these like uncommon like 2-for-1s and like just like
Yeah.
great cards on like a higher ceiling. But then I've got this like black green deck that just has like like so much removal. Like it was like all in my starting pool too. It was like three shoot the sheriffs, like
Oh my gosh.
double unfortunate accident, like it just has so much spot removal, but like it's just a lot flatter. There's not as many 2-for-1s, and
Yeah.
if you have kind of like a flooding hand or something, you can just like lose to the wrong matchup. So yeah, I don't that's my current conundrum is like I love like a sealed pool, when you're doing like a like arena open run or something like that where you're just like this is clearly the deck I'm supposed to play. Like it's just
Yeah.
an obvious like I always struggle with where it's like I feel like I'm making the wrong choice. Because I still like even this week I've played a couple matches with the blue green, a couple with the black green,
Yeah.
just kind of like going matchup dependent. But it's been I don't know it's been a super fun league so far, so been
Yeah.
enjoying it.
Well, that's great. That's great to hear. And it's cool that you have these. It's hard, right? It's hard to know what deck to be on, and I think there is this huge push pull of like I said it last week on the show. Thomas and Ryan D are on like 2-color aggro decks, and they're in first and second place. Like they're not messing around with this 5-color value stuff.
Yeah.
But most other people are messing around with that 5-color value, and it's hard to not want to do that because it's OTJ. The name of the game is value. Are you trying to do all these 2-for-1s and like live forever, or are you just trying to kill some things? It's I went out playing 4 colors. I never went the full 5, but my mana base was bad. Like I definitely lost games. It's just like oh yeah,
Just mana.
yeah, like this just isn't gonna happen. And like But I also won games because I had stupid powerful cards that I like had no business splashing, and
Yeah,
it's
that
the
was
give
my
and take.
MKM league.
But yeah, it's I really enjoyed Outlaws League. How are you doing right now? You're this could be your first top 16, possibly, right?
I
Um,
think so.
and could even be your first top 8. I mean, I'm rooting for you.
Hey,
But
we'd love to see it. Where am I right now? Let's see. Um, that's the thing. There's like
it's a tight
in the
one.
top, yeah, in the top 16, it's like it could go anywhere next week.
Yeah,
Like it's so tight.
it's all about are you playing the week 6 meta? Are you gonna be doing duels? I guess you don't want to be doing duels. You got 3 shoot the sheriffs. You don't want to be playing the singleton
Yeah,
thing.
I can't be doing the singleton. I've got like double the blue green deck has like double marauding sphinx and like the black deck has got all the double removal, so sadly I can't be um yeah, I think my biggest regret was not doing not the desert, the 4 color. I think it was week 2 because my deck was in a pretty good spot.
Hmm.
It was like basically playing 4 colors anyway. And yeah, I just kind of brain fart, just kind of missed it and forgot and played too many matches.
Yeah.
And but none of the other ones have like quite shaped up for what my deck's doing.
Yeah, you're currently in 8th place, 16 and 8th. Great. I mean, that's a great place to be for someone who's never had a top 16. Like you're in the hunt. Like I said, Daniel G's in the hunt. You're above Daniel G right now, you know?
Yeah,
So yeah, you're 2-2 this week. You're having a great league. So happy to see you up there. You were a Mardu Khan. We got to bring
that's
that
great.
up. I was when I messaged you, I was going through our messages and I was like, oh, we've played before and we played in a con match. Um, that's again, that is was that your first league? Was cons your first one?
Yeah, that was my first league. Yep.
And you came in, you liked it so much, you stuck around. Uh,
Yes. Yeah, it was cool. It was I've loved the like I just kind of stumbled upon it. Like I found it on Reddit, like I think a lot of people have,
oh yeah.
and like I said, like I like I if there's something on Arena to like a qualifier for like standard or explorer, like I'll if I'm qualified just through limited, like I'll just try some decks out just just to play it. But like I only play limited basically. Like that's all I play, and I play a lot of limited. So it's like the more sort of diversity and competition you can get. Like I said, I think the arena opens are like the best things that have uh come out of Magic lately. Just being able to play like competitive limited,
Hmm.
from home and uh just it's just like super convenient and super fun to play like high stakes limited. So I've been like kind of looking for something like that just to because you can only play so much best of one is just like
Hmm.
the decks are unrealistic for like actual draft
Yeah.
pods and it's just like it's what I do because it's like I don't know how I engage with the game, but it gets kind of stale after a certain point. So finding the league was awesome and I just I didn't know what to expect, but the league is just so like it's just like a community and it's so cool how like I don't know how much discussion there is and like the cons was my first one, which is a good first one to do since that's like kind of a team aspect,
Yeah.
but you all welcomed me so quickly and just yeah, been loving it. So
Hey, and again, we're so happy to have you. And again, I always see you doing well. You're a great player. I mean, you'd have to be hanging out with the kind of competition that we have here. You keep mentioning the arena opens. Have you cashed in the opens? What's the best you've done in one of the opens?
the opens the first one I tried was the one that got me hooked. That was Neon Dynasty
Yeah.
Kamigawa, and that was back when they had the old format where you just had to draft one deck and play it to oblivion. That was like I think you could only have 2 losses. So for that one I got up to 7 wins and got 1,000. So that was like my
Nice.
first taste of
Nice.
like the heart pumping like excitement.
You're
Like
hooked, right? Yeah, you won money
yeah,
playing Magic. It's the dream.
yeah. It was crazy. Yeah. So I cashed that one and then I've cashed a few since. I've cashed back when they were doing more. It was all I mean that was great. They were doing it more often. I think I got minimum cash a couple times for like mom and then um there was like a flashback Shadows over Innistrad. I think I
Yeah.
got up to 1,000. And then most recently it was the best I've ever done was the first OTJ, not this last weekend, but the one before that. I went 8-0 and got the
Dude,
full prize. So it
I'm
was
I'm
fun.
bowed down. I've never won money in an open. That's so cool. Holy cow, dude, that's awesome.
It definitely takes some luck. It takes some luck too. So it's there's a lot of opens where I've come very close and missed. So there's I don't want to make it sound like it's all good, but
I don't know,
it's
but
just cool to be able to play them and compete and
yeah,
you just like match up into like random like pro tour players and stuff. Like, oh, I'm playing like someone that I just saw on TV.
yeah. And then you know what? And then you're beating him, Ryan. And then you're beating him. Well, Ryan, I would love to know what is your favorite Magic card? I always learn so
Mm.
much about somebody from this question. There's so much about their Magic personality.
Yeah, this was a tough one to just pick one. Because there's so many cards that are super nostalgic to me. Just like favorite cards that aren't even good. Things like that.
Yeah.
Um, but there's one card that always comes to mind when I think about this, and that's Fact or Fiction.
Ooh,
It's
I like it.
just there have been some like sort of imitations and callbacks to it, but like
Hmm.
at the time that was just such a unique effect and such a I just love everything about it. Like playing on your opponent's turn, card draw, like a little like game within the game. It's like
Hmm.
really skill test. Like I've made terrible piles on the other side of it. It's like until you're sitting on the other side, you don't fully appreciate how good the card is
Yeah, it's
because
a
it's
good
just
one.
such a lose-lose card on the other side. But
It's some.
yeah.
I do love those cards. I got someone recently with whatever a recent version of that was, where it was like, put two face down, one face up. They pick one of the
Mm,
piles, and
yep, yep.
it was like creature and two lands, and like the creature wasn't very good. So no, you know what? The creature was really good, actually. I think it was, but the other two cards were two lands, and I stuck them the other two, and they grabbed the lands. Oh, it was like
Oh man,
a dream come true. It was
that
beautiful.
feels good. Yeah.
But yeah, those fun little games within the games. So the blue player, Ryan, you like the blue mage?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like it all, to be honest. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's like I think that was one of the questions from the Discord later, but like as far as like a style of play or anything, I kind of like it all, honestly. I do like playing blue though. Definitely, I would
Yeah.
say that's on the higher end.
I also enjoy the blue, but yeah, yeah, whatever. It's magic. We play, especially it's limited. You play with the cards you're dealt.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, Ryan, you've been in a few leagues now. Like I said, you came in cons. This is your first year, but you've been in a few. Any that were big standouts to you so far, or is there anything that you yourself would change to either the league or the server?
As far as standouts, I gotta shout out the murders at Carlisle Manor
That's so good.
um league. That was, I mean, just in general, like coming into um even seeing it in cons, like clicking that master spreadsheet for the first time, you're like, oh, this is legit. Like this is I joined this thing. I was like, I don't know what this is. It's gonna be like
Yeah.
how many people it's going to, any of that. But you quickly learn is like, oh, this is they got a a good thing going here, and you can tell the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes, and I think Murders was like a perfect example of that, like the Allquist and like all of the clues and stuff. I was terrible at them. I was so bad at them, but I was like, it was like all encompassing. I would be like just all the time. I could not stop thinking about them, and it was like it's like borderline unhealthy, like as if my magic obsession isn't unhealthy enough. But then you throw in all these like clues that I'm like dying to solve. So, but that was just awesome and super cool. And honestly, on the like the feedback and stuff, like I I I don't have anything like constructive to offer as far as like everything that I've seen has been awesome, and there's nothing that like stands out to me as like glaring issues or anything. Like I know a lot of people are upset about like just in general drafting the set and playing sealed, like not this league,
Yeah.
but just in general, like people are upset about the play boosters, and like I think it's just one of those things where we just have to kind of get used to, and like we're not even going to think about in a couple years time or whatever. And It's just kind of like you kind of know. I've never been like super like upset to lose to bombs and things like that, just because I play so much. Like
Hmm.
I think maybe for people that like play a couple drafts, or a few drafts a set, it's like that does obviously that's not fun to like have a game invalidating bomb. But when
Yeah.
you play enough, you kind of like see how it's not that often, and there are a lot of like answers in the set, whether that means just winning faster or like having actual answers, and you're gonna have your own bombs, and so yeah, the as far as like that with the league, it's been interesting to like kind of like peek at people's pools and see like what am I gonna have to watch out for here, like
Hmm.
what do I need to like, and am I the deck that needs to end the game sooner? Or does my deck have a better late game? That sort of thing. Like kind of figuring out what role your deck plays before you go into the match, and then like obviously adjusting on the fly. But yeah, I don't have anything like as far as like things I would change or anything like that. I think there's a really good thing going here, and I just love the community aspect of it. And also just, like you said, there are some really, really strong players in the league, and it's just fun to get like,
Yeah.
you know,
High
really
level
good
of
games.
competition, right? Like I feel like I learned so much playing and watching people play. Like
Totally. Yeah. The streaming and yeah.
there's so many times I'm watching, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. They're gonna lose. Then they win. And I'm like, man, what am I doing?
Totally. Yeah.
Like
You
uh
think it's such a straightforward game, and then you watch and you're like, oh yeah, this is like so many branches and
yeah,
crazy.
it really is. And the community is great. And we're happy to have you become a part of it, Ryan. It gets better as people like you come into it. And the community has asked you some questions. Our first comes from Jack H. Rackick. How long have
Hmm.
you been playing Magic? I always ask that question first, Jack. That's the first thing I ask somebody. I ask that question.
We'll
But
let
the
it
next,
slide because he's a Mardu con member.
that's true. He was the OG Mardu, quickest of the quick. But what
That's
do you
right.
attribute your success in the league to? What helps you succeed in the league?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, it's not been long, so I wouldn't like, it's. I think you have to get a little bit lucky too. I mean, there's so much of the game that's luck. Um, but I don't know. I'd say like like I mentioned earlier, to a probably unhealthy degree at points in my life, I've just played so much limited Magic. Um, like when I found that 17 lands was a thing, when I like first reinstalled and got back into Magic at Midnight Hunt, I was like, oh, this is sweet. Like it's like a new sort of like leaderboard that I can, I'm just like a really competitive person, so it's when I
Sure.
get something like that, something like that really appealed to me. So yeah, so if you want to go find me, you can see how much shame I've had put into this game, how many shameful hours I played. Um, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's just been I don't know, something that I've always enjoyed as a hobby, um it's been one like I've had many things kind of come and go, but aside from like Ultimate, like Magic's been the only thing that like consistently, it's been on and off, but it's mostly been on, and it's been kind of cool to like have that hobby, and also just yeah playing with good players. Like recently, like a year or so ago, I found a crew in Denver where I'm at now. Where my wife and I are moving back to St. Louis soon,
Hmm.
but I found a crew in Denver that plays like regularly. Like one of the guys has like almost the entire vintage cube built out in paper,
Nice.
and obviously there's a couple proxies in there for the power, but it's just so cool playing with those cards in person, and so that crew, like, we'll draft like once a week, or it's a special thing to be able to play that much in person with a good group of players and just good people. Um, so I'd say that, I was joking with a friend, and we were looking at my 17 lands, and you can see a noticeable like downtick in how much I've played when I found that group, and as well as when I found this league. It's kind of a healthier way to interact with the game, as opposed to just like jamming best of one with strangers. So I've kind of like filled that bucket with playing like in real life and playing in the league too. So, but yeah, just playing a lot of Lemonade.
Hey, it helps, right? It's the more you do it, the better you get. Uh, Our next question comes from Chris York, Chris Y. York on games. Right now, you've slipped down to 17th place. This is old news. Chris, he's back up into 8th. Uh, what's your plan on getting back into 8th place? Well, you already did. Did you have a plan other than, we'll win some games?
Yeah, no plan really. Just I'd say the deck building has been the biggest challenge. Just figuring out again, like early on, it's like I really like it, and it's a fun challenge. I tend to like those like puzzles and like the team sealed. I was driving Alexis and Raph crazy because I would be like flipping our pools around and like, wait, what if we tried this? And
Yeah.
but that's at a certain point in the league. Like I remember this happening with MKM too. It's like there's just so many cards after you've taken a certain number of losses that it's like
Hmm.
I don't know what to do with this monstrosity. It's like I have a couple ideas, but it's like I don't know what's best. So yeah, so that's mostly what I've been working with.
Chris would also like to know, what are you looking forward to, assuming you're returning for Modern Horizons 3 League?
Yeah, I will be returning. It's exciting. That's coming to Arena as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a
Um,
big one.
yeah, I generally like I kind of MH2 was the set that I had stopped playing during, and rediscovering that with this crew in real life, like that's one of my favorite draft formats that I've ever played. It's like so deep and such a cool format. So if MH3 is anything, close to that, I'll really like it. I haven't been my friends have been, texting me spoilers and stuff, but I haven't been super tuned into it yet. I haven't actually sat down and looked at the full
Yeah, same.
list of what's out. But based on I don't know how I engage with formats, it's I'll start jamming a million drafts and start to learn quickly. But yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's a high-powered set. I mean, we're coming off a high power. This is going to be even more powerful than OTJ, but it's going to be, I hope, more, not just crazy bombs. Everything's going to be powerful. So it's going to
It
be
seems
like,
like more synergy, which is like
yeah,
kind of refreshing.
it's going to be good. The sets like these are always great draft sets. So I'm hoping this one
Yeah,
is too.
for
Uh,
sure, for sure.
Cody Race would love to know, how did you decide on the number of R's in Rern?
That's a great question. That's I don't know. I think it just fell right, because my friend he didn't write it down. He just started calling me Rern. I don't know why. Um, but it's I don't know. My name Ryan has 4 letters, so it just felt like the
Easy.
natural. Yeah.
I love it. Richard K. Preacher 26, always with the food questions, but he's no, not food this time. We're going to a drink. Favorite
Hmm.
cocktail?
Favorite cocktail. I don't really have an exciting answer for this. I'm not a cocktail guru or aficionado, but I do enjoy a good mule. I'm a mule guy.
Okay.
Um, Margarita if you're out getting tacos or something. But I'd say the coolest. Well, I guess it wasn't. I don't even know if you could say it was a cocktail, but it was like I was visiting a buddy in Chicago, and we went to this like underground like speakeasy, like dimly lit. It was like a really cool like vibe, and they had these like skull like tiki drinks that would like be like lit up or on fire
Yeah.
or like smoking like pineapple or something. So that was the most memorable, but yeah.
Sounds awesome. Yeah, Bueller or Margarita. Great choices.
Hmm.
Ryan D, the slickness, the other Ryan. You guys have been wanted as the Ryans for a couple of weeks together now. Would love to know, is this town big enough for the two of you?
I think it is. I sure hope it is. I sure hope it is. We've been partners in crime, so to speak, for the last 3 weeks. So hoping
Wow.
we can keep the wanted posters all the way to the top 8.
I mean, at this point, if you're in the 8th place right now, as we record on Wednesday at about 5:40 p.m., I think you're set for a bounty for next week. He's in second. Oh, I'd love to see a Ryan showdown in the top 8
That
mega
would
draft. Like,
that would be
oh,
epic.
that would be epic. Brian G. Fidakin would love to know, what are your musical tastes, even if they're not metal?
Oh, good question. Um, yeah, so I guess up until this point, I don't know how, but I haven't told you what I do for a living. I'm a band teacher. I teach
Oh,
music.
sweet.
Yeah, yeah. So my main instrument is saxophone.
Ooh,
But yeah, as far as music tastes, I don't know if it's just kind of like my upbringing or like career, but I have a very eclectic. I kind of like, I like it all. There's so many different things I love.
Hmm.
I love like growing up listening to um like my dad was really big into like some of the classic rock, like British invasion bands and like
Yeah.
the Who and Cream and stuff like that. So I grew up kind of like getting into like I started playing guitar in middle school and playing like I was listening to a lot of like guitar blues based music and classic rock and stuff. But I don't know, I've always loved like soul music. Like Stevie Wonder is probably my favorite artist of all time, and
Awesome. Yeah.
like funk, and like I love like Wolfpack as a newer group that I've kind of like gotten into. And but classical music, jazz, instrumental. I love a good like singer-songwriter vibe. Yeah, a little bit of everything really.
No, that's great. That's I love it. What come at Ryan for maybe some I don't know music recommendations. Sounds like this guy knows a lot about it, a lot more than I do.
Hit me up.
And sorry, not a lot of metal in there, Brian, but we'll
No,
find
no,
some.
metal. Sorry,
A little
I
metal.
didn't shout out the metal. I do like some metal.
All right, yeah, okay. We got some metal in there, Brian. Looks we did it. Our last question comes from Evan C. Peas of Crab, also up there in the top 8 with you right now, I think.
Yeah,
He's good. Do you subscribe to any conceptions of yourself as relates to Magic? Player archetype, wedge, shard guild, aggro temple, mid-range control? What do you think of yourself when it comes into Magic terms?
hmm. I definitely do have like a sort of like inherent bias. I don't know at what point I got really I like sort of like fell in love or was like drawn to the tragically drawn to Simic because it's just
Oh,
never
that's a
good
good
any.
one. No, yeah, but it's a fun archetype, isn't it? Oh,
Yeah, it's like never been good in some of the recent. I guess in MKM it was good, so we had our moment there. But I don't know. I think one of the sets I was back in on on my ins and outs was like Apocalypse. I was like one of the sets I can remember actually buying a box and just like tearing through it, getting opening all the packs. And I just like loved like Yavimaya Coast and like Mystic Snake. And back
yeah.
then like only allied colors were ever shown together, so it was like kind of something like new about that was really cool. Having like the enemy colors. And yeah, I don't know what it is about it, but I just like I can't stay away from some of those cards. Like my other friend in our group, the one friend has a vintage cube, but we also do Pauper Cube, and he's got a really sweet Pauper Cube. And I've drafted it probably like 3 or 4 times, and every single time I'm like, I'm gonna have something different this time, and then I just end up with a bunch of like Serulf Pack Made and Llanowar Visionary and like blue, interaction. That's like
Yeah.
I always go for the like green value, green blue kind of stuff. So yeah, as far as like a style of play, I don't really know. Because I tend to like find myself liking everything. I like when I get a good aggro deck, I love just I love all the like decisions in that of like how to squeeze out the last points of damage, and some of the like decisions you have to make along the way to like absolutely maximize your
Hmm.
damage. And I kind of love that puzzle. I also love like control decks that was my draft too for
Yeah.
the Arena Open, was like this like blue black desert like crime control, and it was just super fun to play. You just have so many decisions, and like just it kind of feels like if you can like live long enough, whether you're at 2 life or not, just to turn that corner is such a fun style. I'd say that the style I end up the most, and it depends if the set will allow for it, but I almost always end up in some sort of like green multicolor, uh, sort of like the mana base is the puzzle.
Hmm.
Like I remember Woe with like what was the one green, you can fetch and turn your land into something. Brave the I forget what it's called, Brave the Wilds. Yeah, I love like decks like that are like heavy green and then end up in these like mid-range value piles or like 5 color green control kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And making sure that I get my mana base responsible so Vader doesn't hit me, and
It's a very
which my
OTJ
current
thing too, like green
yeah
5 4 4 5 color. Oh,
Yeah, that's the thing with OTJ. It's like impossible to do it because green is so contested.
yeah.
MKM was perfect because like everyone was on the red white bandwagon and
Hmm.
like that sort of like sweet spot midpoint in the format, and I was just like snap up all the nervous gardeners and I think that was probably my most drafted card in that set. And yeah, I always love kind of trying to figure out the puzzle of making sure the mana base works, and getting able to like squeeze out playing a lot of really powerful cards. And I'd say that's been a really tough transition for me coming to this league, is because I just have never built 60 card decks
It's
before.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it just doesn't really work that way. Like all the rules that apply, you can't really use them. So, and trying to look at the Frank Karsten tables and try to understand what I can get away with. And yeah, it's been tough. That was yeah, coming into cons as my first sealed league was just like
Yeah.
so many mana problems.
Hey, but you did pretty good in cons, if I remember. I think you've done pretty good in most of the leagues so far.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get there this time. I haven't gotten top eight or close to it yet. So
Hey,
hoping to
I'll tell you,
have a good
Ryan,
week.
it's just a matter of time. Yeah, there's a lot of luck that goes into a 6 week tournament. Like
Yep.
there's so much variance on top of the variance, and like you
Yep.
said, you went 9-1, and I'm sure a lot of those games were lucky draws or opponents like having problems or like
Yep.
it happens. It's the game. Um,
Yep. Yep.
but like you said, it's the best you've ever done. You're currently you got one more game to play left this week. Hopefully, you get
Hmm.
that win. It'll really put you in a really nice spot. Watch aglpredictions.com if you don't know about that website. And it will show you real time like graph information of your percentage to make top eight, based
That's sweet.
based on like how other people play and like who wins and who loses. This is your
Okay.
first week six. Let's give you a quick week six prior. Have you ever made it to week six before?
No, I think cons I was close, but I don't think I made week six for cons.
All
Yeah.
right. Week six, very quick. Week six primer for Ryan. Play your games super early. There's not a
Okay.
lot of games to go around. And like once
Sure.
people like start getting locked in or locked out of top eight, like
They'll
stuff,
just won't play.
yeah, they just don't have to play, or like you don't have to play anybody if if you're in seventh and there's one game left and it's someone in ninth place, like you don't have to play that person. You
Fair.
can to be like a nice person, but it's also a tournament and like you've made it this far and there's strategy and you wouldn't be the first person to say no to a game and but you also wouldn't be the first person to take that challenge on. Um, but really, it's like you gotta be careful because the games dry up by like Wednesday, Tuesday. There's
Hmm.
not a lot of games left. People just get knocked out, or like if there's four people left, you've played two of them already, or something. Like it's
Sure.
it can get awkward. Um,
Yeah, get 'em in early.
get them in early. I always,
That's
whenever I make
good to
week
know.
six, I try to be done by like Monday. Um, just because like Friday's kind of a feeding frenzy. And don't be surprised if you have to message people or like people message you for games.
Hmm.
Just because there's only a handful of them left. But people also might say like, oh, I think I can take Ryan. Let me send him a message, and then it's like, well, do I want to take this message game? Like, does this think they can beat me? Like, what am I missing?
Please message me. My mana base is terrible.
But hey, I'm super excited for you to make your first week six. Hopefully, your first top 16, and I'll be rooting for you to make your first top eight. I mean, with the all the arena opens one, I think you got the skills. You just got to have some good games and some variance break your way. So I'm gonna wish you good luck the rest of the way, Ryan. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming on this
Appreciate that.
show. I appreciate it, and yeah, again, I really do hope you do well. It's so great to see you out here. I love when new players come in, and they stick around and they're good players. It only makes all of us better players. I can't thank you enough, Ryan.
Well, hey, thank back at you. I mean, players don't stick around if it's not a welcoming environment, and so it's awesome that y'all have so many things going on, and the podcast is a perfect example of that. So
Oh.
appreciate you having me on, and I could talk your ear off about Magic. I won't shut up. So
Yeah,
thanks,
I didn't know,
thanks.
no, Ryan. I didn't know you were such a tenured Magic guy. Like been playing for a long time, does well in the opens, plays super competitively, plays in person, does cubes. Like you never know what kind of a player a person is, you know.
Yeah,
Like the Dad Thomas came on last week. He's been playing for a year, you know,
that's
and
crazy.
you know, like it's stuff like that where it's like
There's some really good new players. That's crazy.
the kids these days. Am I right?
Yeah.
But Ryan,
That's
again,
awesome.
thank you so much for coming on the show, and really good luck out there the rest of the way in week 6. If you have any questions or anything about Weird Week 6, they usually post some kind of primer too that like lets people know because it is a little different. And then if you make the mega draft, you get to start scheduling that. That's always a blast trying to get 8 people from across the world in a 3-hour block.
For sure.
But hey, good luck out there. You're crushing. Take it home, and hey, do it for Mardu. Mardu's strong,
Yes,
right?
that's right. That's right. I got to do it for my Mardu.
All right. Well, good luck out there, Ryan.
Thanks. Appreciate your time.
Yeah. Again, Ryan was super awesome. He's factor fiction, man. Who doesn't want to do it? Who doesn't want to play the game within the game? Who doesn't want to draw some cards? And Ryan's one of those names that I took notice of just because he's always doing well. He's currently in top 8. And he has never top 16 before. I think he's locked for that now. So congrats to him for locking his first top 16. And I'm really rooting for Ryan to go. I want all these new players in the top 8. I want them all up there. Because it's different, right? Don't you want to see Ryan versus Tom? I want to see Ryan versus Ryan. That's really what I want to see. The slickness, my nemesis, versus Ryan M, my new friend, Rern. I'm rooting for Rern all the way, Ryan. And the slickness, I'm still rooting for Ryan. Too many Ryans. Yeah, but Ryan was great. Ryan was awesome. And Ryan's still alive for week 6. But you can't say that about everybody that we have. Some of these people have been gunned down in the saloon. Let's say goodbye to those who are no longer with us.
I thought we could settle this like men.
You thought wrong, dude.
Sawyer T, Soy Boy. John P, Goku or Go Home. Philip B, Plipster. Chris Y, York on Games. Julian K, Citizen Snippies. Jack H, Rakic. Lata P, Lata. Nick A, Nistar. Christopher G, Oompa Loompa. Mitchell S, Spaghetti Mitch. Evan L, Evan. James M, Soul Ring. Jordan M, JM Tron. Will M, Hakay. Matthew L, Wylon. Dan H, Dan12456. Where's the 3, Dan? Where is it? Nick W, Wheelo. Johnny M, Johnny. Edgar A, Playful Terror. Paul G, The Dragon. Dustin D, Bloon. Bob P, Hit. Matthias H, Rezra. Joaquin E, Diabolic Machine. Alexandra G.A., AGA. Luke G, Juno. Eric S, Smitty Not Smite. Nicholas K, Bionic. Matt K, Kirby Kong. Dirk E, Bagan Blue. Nick H, Jet Pilot. Man, a lot of people. A lot of people in this league. Kevin I, Knee 1993. Emmett F, Sepulture. Cedric L, Hoda. John R, Ged. Wyatt C, Hot Dolphin. Caleb G, Why Not? Alexis M, Alex's Fly. Shao L, Tamamo. Christian L, XX Alpine XX. Alexis R, Alexa Bombastic. Cody Race, and then let's end on NJS the Third, aka Ned GC. And that's going to do it for the show this week. We actually have a 2 weeks until Modern Horizons 3 comes out, which means we get to do a OTJ wrap-up show next week. We don't usually get an extra week in between leagues, so we're going to get the OTJ wrap-up show next week, and then we'll have the Modern Horizons 3 kickoff show the week after that. Start getting your, I don't know when Modern Horizons comes out, but get your drafts in. Start getting crazy. This is going to be a weird, wacky one. This is going to be wild. If you thought Outlaws was too powerful, this at least it looks like a synergy set, right? It looks like synergy power, and I don't know how many people are just going to be throwing fun Eldrazi's in their deck. I don't know. I bet I'm going to get annoyed when I think I've won, and then my opponent taps 10 mana for whatever the 10 mana Eldrazi is this set. But hey, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited, and like I said, I'm out. I'm out of OTJ. I'm out of Zombie League. I'm roto drafted. I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm looking for games to play. Hit me up. Let's play a game. But until then, until next week and the week after that, I hope that you should get to keep a good 7 and that shuffler is in your favor. Until then, see everybody here. Bye, everybody.